say about the Red Room and how it influenced where we are today?
So, I would say a lot actually, because whenever me and Jake decided to start the Red Room, because we both had the knowledge of recording at home, and we both was into the rap music and stuff. So it's like we kind of learned together on that. We built this studio out of his house, and but by doing that, we started like networking, and that's where like Foolish came in, and that's when the Red Room really like took off. Is when Foolish had came in the mix, and he showed us like the ins and outs of recording. Really, I mean, he was like, "This is how you need to make it better." He knew everybody as far as like in the rap world locally,
And we're talking
right?
about Foolish?
Foolish, like
Okay.
everybody knew him. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So he kind of got us linked into that world as far as the local hip hop scene. Um, and then so once that happened and we dropped an album, right? We actually dropped our first mixtape, I would say. Um, it actually somehow got into the hands of Travis, and Travis
So I'm going to back you up right
mhm.
there because there was some local success that happened out of that first album. I'm assuming, and maybe I'm not, maybe I'm wrong here. Party in the Winnebago was on that album or no?
No, that was later.
Okay, that was
That
later.
was later.
All right.
This was before Party in the Winnebago. This was actually when we did where we made all of the beats that was on the album. We totally 100% owned everything
Hmm.
on the album, and it got somehow Travis got a hold of it, and he had a DJ buddy that was like in the strip clubs and was playing it, and that's when that song got a cup full of ice rocks, 10 bottles of Ciroc. And
Okay.
then like so that was kind of more of the party song back then. That
Uh
was the
huh.
Winnebago before the Winnebago.
Gotcha.
So and then Travis just like hit me up, which is funny because I always knew his brother from playing baseball and stuff. So I kind of knew Travis, but he's a lot older than me. I mean, he's like 80 something years old.
Yeah, yeah. Watch that. Watch that.
so, so,
45 at the end of the year, bro.
so he was like, "Look, man, I got a camera. Do you mind if I come and shoot y'all's show?" We was doing a show at one of the local clubs. He's like, "Can I come and film it?" And we're like, "Yeah, of course." Like we was filming everything on cell phones. Like
Hmm.
we thought that was cool. So he showed up, filmed the show, and he actually was like mad about it. He was like, "I don't even like it," So, and I think it was on a GoPro.
Yeah, yeah. I started out with I want to say it was the second version of GoPro that ever come out.
Right.
And I was just like, I got to get this done. I told these guys I can film. I ran up to Best Buy, spent $1,000 on just this GoPro uh tripod, and I want to say just a screw-on light.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It
Yeah.
just had a screw-on light. So then he was like, "Man," he's like, "Doesn't look as good as I wanted it." Da, da, da. So then he went and bought another camera. He was like, "Look, I'm gonna shoot you a music video. I got this new camera. Do you mind? I want to do like a little short film slash music video. I had a song that I did, because that's when I started working on like a solo album by
Hmm.
myself. We started like doing our own solo albums, and then we was gonna come back together and do another mixtape album because we was all solo artists. We wasn't really a group, but like we was still on our wannabe like Red Room label. Is
And
that
that was Cracker on the Edge.
Cracker on the
And
Edge?
I remember when that video came out because Party in a Winnebago really was it was a fun music video to
Hmm.
watch, fun song. I mean, I've got family in Ohio, and I shared that with family in Ohio, and to this day they will sing the hook to Party in a Winnebago
It's
out of
catchy.
nowhere. And but I say that to say, Cracker on the Edge. Um, Came out after the fact, and I remember I was with you that weekend. It was at the Lax concert.
Really?
Yep, and we were watching the views. It was like 19,000 views over the weekend
Yeah.
Yeah.
as soon as it dropped. And Party in a Winnebago never even saw close to that.
Right.
And it happened over the weekend, and there's a lot of success that happened out of that. I mean, you had the studio for years, the Red Room studio, and people would come and record there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Travis and you intertwined. and it turned into, next thing you know, you are working on projects with him.
Yeah.
And I know the one of the biggest ones was Signal Lost.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And him talking about showing up with the camera and he's not happy with it. You were you were the sound guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your setup?
It was a tripod that I just knocked the legs off of and had the microphone just like attached to the end. It wasn't even like the right way. I think like for half of that production, like I didn't have a legit boom pole. I think I finally did get one.
Yeah, I think we made it out of PVC at the apartment.
Yeah, it was made. It was totally made.
Yeah.
By an old tripod and some PVC.
But it
pipe.
was highly rated for PSI, right?
Yeah, bro. It was the highest you could get. It was
Okay.
that thing. That puppy would bend all the way like this and would not snap. So it was definitely like a learning curve. But I think between like the cracker on the edge, getting a little bit of a bug of acting because he made me act through it and all this, and then being on Signal Lost and doing the sound. I didn't act in that one. I just kind of wanted to focus on the sound. But then it kind of really got me. And there's other projects like Hellphone. He had me doing the sound on Hellphone.
Yeah.
I had a blast doing that. We've done a couple other shorts with just me and him, just messing around and practicing with stuff.
One of our biggest shorts got the most awards in Marion County.
Yeah, the Bride on the Side. Yeah, we won a film festival. Because we wasn't even gonna do that. We was like, no, we're gonna stick to our own. He's like, we don't want to really do anything. We don't want to help any, and not in a bad way. Like, we just wanted to do our own thing, right? Because we've been helping everybody with their projects, and we're like, man, we got to do our own project one of these days. So we had a couple people like, man, Damon was like, man, y'all are gonna do it. Y'all are gonna do it. We're like, nah, man, we're just stepping back. Well, like at the last minute, we was like, we got guilt tripped into it, is what we did. And we're like, all right, fine. There was a team that signed up. They was kind of connected with us. They didn't have a crew or nothing. They really needed help. So we're like, all right, man, we'll help y'all, whatever. So we ended up helping them and winning the competition, the jump cut. It was, a 3-day challenge where you drew the genre. You had to write the script, cast the actors, and film it, edit it, and have it all done in 3 days for the premiere at the Marion Theater. So we ended up winning it, and then just over time of doing all that, man, we kind of, I was just like, we got to do our own thing. And Travis got more pulled towards the SAG and like the actual budgeted films and stuff. So I was like, well, I don't really want to do that just because I want to kind of be in control a little bit. Like, not that I wanted full control of everything, because obviously like the production of the Big Hammock, I gave out a lot of like, hey man, what do you think, like, but I kind of wanted to be able to be like, I don't want to be held back by rules and regulations. Like when it comes to the SAG and the budgets, like Travis can tell you, like there's certain things you're not allowed to do, to where when you're guerrilla shooting, I can run up anywhere and be like, hey, can we film in here? All right, cool. And then I ain't got to have no contract signed. I don't have to get permission from the up and ups. I don't have to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to feed the actors because, the Big Hammock had no catering. You know what I'm saying? If you ate, it's because you ate before you got there. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where the motivation came in, as far as just wanting to go on a guerrilla shoot, and had the idea and then recruited everybody as I went along.